So super excited. We're at the U.S. Strategy Conference in D.C. with Loren Asmus, one of the co-founders of UTXO, which is the Bitcoin conference, right?
So we're the asset management arm of BTC Inc, which runs the Bitcoin conference. Had 35,000 people attend Las Vegas for our annual conference here in the U.S. And then we also have a media branch where we publish Bitcoin Magazine and have an online website as well for articles. But we're the focus on the strategy and asset management side of the business.
Excellent.
This has been excellent, just seeing the intersection of AI and digital assets, Bitcoin come together.
Yes,
very exciting.
Amazing.
It's been really, really cool to see.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to be in DC, especially as one of the leaders in Bitcoin, because the purpose of this conference is to kick off the crypto week that Congress has set in motion. So what are your thoughts on crypto weeks? What do you hope they do? What do you hope they don't do? What are the dangers?
So it is a very exciting week. I think we're at the precipice of potentially a lot of really interesting action items in terms of support for crypto, stablecoin legislation, the Genius Act, market structure bill, and then the strategic Bitcoin reserve, and what could that mean in terms of the U.S. government potentially accumulating Bitcoin at the reserve level for the government, and what does that mean from a sovereign perspective in terms of other sovereign nations looking to adopt Bitcoin and following the U.S.'s lead. So it could be a very consequential week. Based on what is forecasted and what is really noted from policymakers and politicians.
Excellent. Obviously you're focused on Bitcoin. Where do you see that its position relative to Ethereum, or Ethereum's position relative to Bitcoin? Is there even any room for Ethereum? Should it even exist?
I just think you just have to separate out the use cases of each digital asset. And I think Bitcoin is a store of value asset. It is effectively a digital gold of sorts. My personal opinion is it's currently 1/10 the size of gold, but at least a 10x better technology than gold. And so it really is that store value, finite scarcity asset, whereas other digital assets have other forms of utility that could be very, very beneficial. And so I think it was very prudent of the government and the administration to separate out a Bitcoin stockpile, Bitcoin reserve, and a digital asset stockpile, because they are different technologies in many ways. I know that we all tend to loop them together as cryptocurrency, but they do have different use cases. And I think the administration is very poignant and very good to point that out and to separate them.
Okay. As someone who's maybe watching this who's new to Bitcoin, maybe doesn't own any, thinking about it, where do you think they should start getting education and say, I'm on the fence, maybe I'm going to buy some. What should they do?
So there's multiple avenues now. It's much easier to buy Bitcoin today than it was, 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. Obviously, with the proliferation of the ETFs from last year, easier than ever to buy a Bitcoin ETF that is managed spot, 1-to-1 to the underlying price of Bitcoin.
So that'd be
like Fidelity, Bitwise.
Like MicroStrategies.
And so that's the other side of it too, is really the corporate adoption of Bitcoin is really accelerated. And that's something that UTXO that we're very excited about and have been at the forefront of. MicroStrategy today owns about 600,000 Bitcoin on its corporate balance sheet. And you've seen this proliferation of Bitcoin treasury companies really come to be across the globe. Ways of accumulating Bitcoin, using the benefits of a corporate structure to buy the Bitcoin, but then also tapping into institutional pools of capital, traditional pools of capital that couldn't have gotten access to Bitcoin previously, now can easily within a public equity corporate strategy. So it's easier than ever through an ETF, through a corporate entity. Even just buying spot Bitcoin too is easier than ever, on your favorite digital asset brokerage firm. There's many ways to do it. And I guess to your other question on education, I think YouTube has been very good in terms of proliferating out podcasts and information on Bitcoin and digital assets. Michael Saylor has always been a good spokesperson for really getting down to the fundamentals of what Bitcoin is. And so I would just say go down the rabbit hole on YouTube of watching, videos, podcasts, and just inundate yourself in that information.
All right, last question, I'll let you go. What is the one thing that you do not want to see Congress do in the next week, in the crypto week?
It's a good question. I wouldn't say something that I don't want them to see do. I think I would be more maybe less constructive if they came out and didn't really have any sort of plan that they were forecasting of what they're going to do in terms of where they want to see the bill passed or an SBR.
Right.
If it's more just rhetoric and kind of just saying the you know, kind of the tropes that we've heard, but I think people are looking for real concrete progress and clarity on where things are headed over the next several years.
So to summarize, the one thing Congress should not do is deliver more opacity.
I think that's fair to say. Yes.
Right. I mean, that's what the public ledger decentralization is all about: is transparency, clarity, and trust.
Exactly.
Right. So there you have it, folks.
There you have it.
Transparency, clarity, trust. That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
Let's go crypto.
Let's go crypto. Go Bitcoin.
Cheers. Thank you.